your son don't need a gun to get respect up on the street.
The Centralist Republic is a period of history of Mexico that the seven states organized under a military political system. The centralist regime was formally established on December 30, 1836, with the enactment of the seven constitutional laws, although in 1835 and repealed the Federal Constitution of 1824. The Centralist Republic lasted almost 11 years. On August 22, 1846, the interim president, José Mariano Salas, issued the decree restored the validity of the 1824 Constitution, and with this, the return of federalism.
Centralism in late 1836, the Constitution known as the Seven Laws was approved. In summary of its principles are followers. The first law deals with the rights and obligations of Mexicans. Citizenship restricted, only given to people who have income 100 pesos annually. The homeless, the employed, and the domestic servants, and literally, they have no right.
Law. In order to create a balance between the three executive, legislative, and judicial powers, the supreme conservative power acts as a regulator or intermediary in difference between the powers is created, and it is believed that this power is designed to restrict the action of Antonio López de Santana.
The third, fourth, and fifth laws establish the conditions and rules of the organization and function of the legislative power and executive and judicial powers.
Law deals with the territorial division of the republic. States disappear and departments are formed. The governors are appointed by the executive power.
Also, Mexico faced in this period two international conflicts. The first, French intervention in Mexico caused by economic claims of the government of French subjects, and the U.S. intervention in Mexico as a result of the annexation of Texas by the United States. This period of the Mexican state was an attempt by the conservative sector of the country that tried to end the dispute between the regional elites and among various warlords who started national political life.
In 1835, Mexicans decided to replace their federal system with a centralist republic, not just because of Texan issues, and Texans believed the new system interfered with their rights. The result of accumulated fears and resentments was a rebellion in Texas and a declaration of independence in 1836.
Central lasted 11 years, 1835 to 1836. They were a little elected presidents, and that ones that were elected just lasted a short amount of time. The seven laws were removed, and in their place, two codes will work temporarily.
During the Viceroyalty, some Americans obtained permission to settle in Texas, which then was part of New Spain. After independence, United States settlers continued to arrive in the area, and over the years, finally outnumbered the Mexicans living there. They had different customs, spoke English, and did not want to subject to Mexican laws in Texas. Many of them had always proposed separation from Mexico, and in 1835 they declared their independence. Antonio López de Santana marched north to reestablish order. Although his army arrived in very poor condition after crossing the northern deserts, he still managed to win the first battles. However, as he camped on the banks of the San Jacinto River, he was surprised by the Texans and taken prisoner. The war could have continued even though Santana was a prisoner, but he made a pact with the Texan leader in order to regain his liberty. He ordered his second-in-command to retreat with his army despite the opposition of the other generals. Santana recognized the independence of Texas.
Another problem came about when France demanded compensation for the damage suffered by French citizens during the numerous Mexican uprisings. Many of the debts they attempted to collect were highly exaggerated. For example, a French baker living in Puebla claimed damage for the cakes he had lost during a riot. For this reason, this conflict is known as the Pastry War.
Mexico wanted to pay but simply did not have the money. The French therefore bombarded Veracruz in 1838. During this battle, Santana was wounded and lost a leg. There was no money to either pay off the debts or to organize a defense. Mexico was therefore forced to request new loans and pay France an unfair and exaggerated amount.
The war with the United States of America. Mexico's situation became increasingly worse. Very few people had to pay taxes, and the government could not cover its administrative costs. Debts, internal squabbles, and insecurity grew continually. In the north, some indigenous tribes had not been totally subjected and attacked the population due to many years' injustice. The Mayas of Yucatan rebelled against city dwellers. Since most of settlers living in Texas were from the United States, in 1845, this territory decided to join the United States of America.
The union of Texas with the United States of America and the ambition of that country to take control of Mexico's territory led to the war with the United States of America. Also, the Nueces River marked the border with Texas after joining the United States of America. The Texans claimed that their border stretched down as far as Bravo or Grande River, which lay further south. Mexico protested, but the Texans occupied the line between the two rivers. There were conflicts between Mexicans and US citizens, and the United States of America used this as an excuse to declare war to Mexico.
Mexico City was taken on September 14, 1847, the day on which Mexicans saw the enemy flag flying over the National Palace. The occupation lasted 9 months.
The causes of the war were disastrous. In order to end the occupation, Mexico was forced to sign the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, in which it lost New Mexico, Upper California, Texas, and part of Tamaulipas, lying between Nueces and Bravo rivers. In exchange, Mexico received 50 million pesos.